Hi guys, Greg at Best Choice Trailers. Today I wanted to take you for a walk around the Trac 7x12 tube top ATV trailer. Shown here is a single axle 2990 rated trailer. Again, 7-foot width, 12-foot length. Everything here is standard equipment on this particular model trailer. I'm going to take you for a walk around this unit, show you all the standard features. So as with most of your single axles, this is a 2-inch coupler up front. Also notice the jack set back a little bit, so instead of your traditional A-frame, set back roughly another foot. Ideal placement, it's out of the way of a truck pickup tailgate. If you lay a tailgate down, it gets real close to a jack in a traditional A-frame location. You also notice it's a zinc jack instead of a traditional painted. It's got an integrated chain holder built in, nice idea. It's got a 4-flat 12-volt plug. Pretty common on most all modern trucks. If it does have a 7-pin and not a 4, we have a very simple adapter that will adapt it back to the 4-pin. It's got the A-frame, and then also because of the setback jack, it's got a triple tube tongue, gives some extra support to the trailer. You also notice tube top rail and uprights instead of angle iron. So tube top rail just gives more strength and rigidity without adding a lot more additional empty weight. A lot of little details on short tracks we like. I showed you a few, but here's another. The mitered corner on the tube top rail. Also notice the integrated stake pocket tie downs. Some additional things we like. Many have said welds, wiring, and paint are what separate a poor and a decent manufacturer. One of the neat things that they do as far as the wiring's in conduit going back. Also gel filled. Pretty nice the way they do it. Another one of those little features that we like, punch plate ramps. Most in the industry are going to do channel with angle iron treads. It's a lot safer. A lot of little details on these that we like. You'll see here it's knife edge, so it tapers down to a point at the end whenever you're loading. The punch plate's just much safer to walk up, to drive up. Certainly makes loading things like zero-turn mowers or golf carts, any of that type of equipment just likes this style ramp a lot better. So you do have 2 ramps. Of course, you're going to use both sides on whichever side you're going to load from. If you do need to exceed 82 inches, you'd probably want to consult with your DOT or whatnot. But you can leave a side out if need be. If you got a ATV or whatnot that needs to stick out an inch or 2 or whatnot, you can throw it in your pickup truck bed and go. Particular unit, like most utilities, is going to have an angle iron frame, and then also it's got a channel tongue. Now most utilities are going to stop the channel tongue, well, assuming they use channel. Some use other material, fabricated or otherwise, but most stop at the first cross member. You'll notice this wraps all the way to the spring hangers. That's what we call a full wrap tongue. Not everybody does that, but a lot of times you will see that on your ATV side models. You're going to have some loss in strength from where the rails cut to put the ATV ramps in. That said, we do call this an ATV trailer. Surely not everybody uses this for ATVs. Folks load a lot of other things. Some guys might load pallet from the side. That said, I'd be careful what kind of pallet you're loading. We have folks that would load 2x4 framing lumber, drywall, you name it, with that side ATV cutout. So certainly a lot more than just ATV function on this unit. Fender gussets are standard equipment, help protect your fender from impacts from the front, make it nice if you hit it. That gusset's going to help protect that fender. Now you also notice this is a tread plate Jeep style fender, not the traditional smooth plate. Tread plate's normally a little bit heavier duty and just a little more functional. Other details, you'll notice the joints between the top rail and the fender, they're all sealed. Help keep rust out of those most critical and vulnerable areas. So it is a 3,500-pound axle, even though we said the trailer's rated for 2,990, so you have about a 500-pound built-in safety margin. This has a easy lube hub on it. You'll notice at the end of the axle, the black cap. Behind there, there's a grease zert. Homeowner with basic hand tools can service their own bearings on these. It's a 205/75 R15 Load Range C 6-ply radial tire. It's mounted on a silver wagon wheel, 15-inch. It's got a 5 on 4.5 lug pattern. You also notice it's got a green cap That's a nitrogen-filled tire. We like nitrogen because the nitrogen's a dry air, and it doesn't have the moisture in it. Help keep the tire from dry rotting from the inside out. Going back to the rear of the trailer, a lot more built-in functionality here I think you'll like. One of them, the gate is made out of 2x2 tube. If you look around the industry historically, most of your gates have been made out of angle iron. For a single axle angle iron, a lot of times sufficient. It just depends on the duty cycle and it depends what you're trying to haul. But this is made out of 2x2 tube, same thing as what the tandem axles are made from. A couple neat details built into this. So traditionally, most of your gates are supported on the outside. This one actually has an extra reinforcement in the center if you ever load anything a little bit more substantial. Certainly it's built accordingly. You also notice that the rear sill, as I call it, I'm sure other people have different names. This is made from a 2x3 tube instead of a formed or an angle that you'll traditionally see. It's a little bit more substantial of a bumper. Now keep in mind the gate's only as strong as what it's supported and reinforced by. So the heavier bumper and then your center reinforcement just make this gate a little more substantial than most. Also, we like the riser, which basically integrates your top rail. Also allows your gate to be a fold flat gate. Just a lot better design than what we see some. We oftentimes get asked to replace units that have a nub coming out that's welded on that folks break off. This here, in the 10 years that I'm familiar with short track, I can't remember a single one that we've replaced. That I think there was one or two that might have been highly abused. But from normal wear and tear and even commercial use, have yet to see one that's been destroyed. Spring-assisted gate, certainly well designed, well done, very well balanced. I'll show you that in a second. So you'll notice the bottom pin setting would be if the gate comes down and then back up 90 degrees to the position it's in now. The uppermost setting would allow the gate to rise up the necessary travel to let the gate fold flat inside. So let me try to show you that with one hand. We'll see how this goes. So again, we're just going to rotate. We're going to rotate this 180 degrees. Again, not the easiest to hold a gate and a phone, especially not a heavy-duty gate. But again, the gate does fold flat down inside the trailer. Certainly, if you're empty, you want a little better aerodynamics. Certainly will give you that. I guess it'll also show you can do this gate with one hand. I'm not a real big guy, and I'm able to pick it up. So what I wanted to show you there was this gate's pretty well balanced. I had it pretty balanced up in the air, that the springs on this are pretty smooth. I can't get it to sit back, but it's pretty smooth. Even with one hand, it'll go up and down pretty easy. So it is a 4-foot gate. That is pretty traditional in the industry. Again, you've got your hand on the driver, or handle on the driver's side. It makes the operation pretty smooth. Passenger side spare tire mount is standard equipment. You'll notice, of course, most models it's in front of the wheel. In the Fender, on this one it's behind because you got your side ATV ramps. Sad to see the unit is powder coated. Short Track does a nice prep on these. They blast the flats and channels, phosphate wash, and then they powder coat. Pretty durable process if the prep is done right. So this is available in a 12 and 14 foot. We do generally tend to carry both sizes. It is also available in a 6x12, although not that common of a size. A unit like this is going to weigh in at about 1350. It's going to give you a net legal payload 3,000 minus 1350 of about 1650. And you're also going to pick up some truck side tongue weight. We find that to be about 15% roughly. Again, you can also get it with brakes, and then we stock this in a 16 and 18 foot tandem axle as well. If you have any questions on this or any of our other trailers, feel free to give us a ring at 717-220-4220, or you can visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com.